My dad comes in tomorrow. My mom came in yesterday. So I've got a couple days of entertainment with my father, trying to impress my mother. The more he cries, the less
He's
impressed.
still on it. He's still on that.
He's been on it for 35, 40 years, and he'll be on it until the day he dies.
No, but just recently there was a new plan hatched or something that you and him were going to collaborate. What is
Yeah.
that on you, or are you still on that?
Oh, I told him that I would help him, and I put him in the same room with her, which is something I normally wouldn't do. It's usually so my father has no game at all, and he's a child. And whenever he gets in a room with her, he starts trying to, do the whole peacock thing and ruffle his feathers and try to sort of he puts on this fake air of confidence, and it's so obvious that he's full of shit. The one good thing about my father is when he's lying, you know it immediately. And my favorite part, though, is there's a lie that's been going on for a lot of years that I just found. So the basis of my parents' breakup was a trip where my father went to California, thought that he had got herpes, came back, told my mom he had herpes, didn't have herpes, had a zit on his penis. And that was the thing. So I heard about this trip and this story for many years. Turns out when I asked my mom about this many years later, she didn't know anything. That wasn't where she caught him cheating at all. He had gone out to California and told my mom that his friend Ron Sandage had herpes. So everything that I'd been told for 30 years was bullshit. And she's like, I caught him with other women. I didn't know anything about this California thing. I'm like, oh, good job, dickhead. He stuck with a story for 30 years, complete lie. So then the second part is there's a, every time this became a joke with my wife, because every time the name Carlos Santana came up, my father would immediately tell me the same story. And it could be 2 times in the same day. It could be a day apart, could be a week apart.
Yeah.
So it became a joke for my wife and I, as I would work Carlos Santana into the conversation. I'd be like, who are some of the best Latin guitarists that are out there? Santana's pretty good. He goes, Carlos Santana. I saw him in 1974, and he goes through the whole spiel. So it turns out with that is that I mentioned to my mom Carlos Santana, and I go, did you see him live in 1974? Because they were together. That's when I was born in Venezuela. She goes, I didn't see Carlos Santana with your father. So I said, Dad, Mom said she didn't go see Carlos Santana with you. This is like 50 years ago, by the way, 1974. It's like literally 48 years ago. He goes, writes her a message. I did not leave you and the boys to go see Carlos Santana. I was just talking to Ron Sandage, and he told me how great it was, and it felt like I was there. So he left my mother, lied about it, and 48 years later got busted for lying, and then tried to cover his tracks with a second lie through an email 48 years later, saying that he did not leave her to go see Carlos Santana. So the next time I talked to him, I go, did you see Carlos Santana? He goes, no. Ron told me how it was. So I waited till he was drunk. And I said, Dad, so he had seen him in Vegas too at Santana. I go, Dad, was Carlos Santana better in Vegas, or was he better in Venezuela? He goes, he was better in Venezuela in 1974. So after reversing course and saying he wasn't there, after a few drinks, came right around and admitted it like that. Like, he was better in 74, So tomorrow.
Hey, I respect that. I respect he's just holding it. He will never fucking just, I mean, both of us would, by 50 years later, who gives a shit? But he's hanging in there. What did you say